Now that I can do. As we know, the Nintendo Switch has been getting big titles for big Nintendo characters like Mario, Luigi, Link, Samus, and you guys know. I don't need to tell you guys this. But anyway, it was a no-brainer to expect Wario and his wacky little group of friends to get their title, like they do on most other consoles. But before we go any deeper, let's talk about Wario himself. Who is Wario? Wario is the type of guy to show up out of nowhere on your doorstep in the middle of the night and ask for money.
Money.
He's greedy, rude, unpleasant, selfish, and probably smells bad, but everyone loves him. Wario is a fan favorite. But if he's so unpleasant, why does everyone like him so much? Well, I think it has something to do with the mindset he goes into things, like, well, money. That's the mindset. If he's gonna do a heroic quest, he better be getting some money out of it, stuff like that. It's just funny. His voice is funny, his character is funny, and especially his comedic duo with Waluigi. But that's going a bit off topic. Today we're going to talk about Wario Ware Get It Together on the Nintendo Switch. Wario Ware is a game series about our man Wario and his many quests to make money. Normally a WarioWare game releases on a Nintendo console to show off what exactly the console can do. Take Game & Wario on the Wii U for example. That's a perfect example of what the Wii U hardware could do. Anyway, normally WarioWare games come out at the beginning of a console's lifespan. Well, WarioWare Get It Together came out on the Nintendo Switch a couple months ago. That's 4 years into the Switch's lifespan. So, this one's already different. WarioWare games are mostly a high-score, survival-based collection of microgames where you participate in bite-sized games, and when I say bite-sized, I mean bite-sized. A microgame is typically 5 to 10 seconds of adrenaline-based fear. You cannot stop to rest, you have to keep going. WarioWare will throw microgame after microgame at you. It's always a fun time. I remember playing WarioWare Smooth Moves as a kid, and I liked it a lot. It was a fun game. That game was really fun. It's pure WarioWare fun. That's why when I saw Get It Together was completely changing the format, I was kind of scared it would get rid of the replayability aspect. I was scared because this game is a little different than the rest. In WarioWare Get It Together, you pick one of WarioWare's many characters, which we'll talk about later, then play the micro games with them. Now that doesn't sound bad, but each WarioWare before, every micro game was controlled and played differently. So, with that complete shift, I felt like the new micro games would kind of all blend together and ruin the replayability aspect. But I was pleasantly surprised. So with all that out of the way, let's take a closer look at WarioWare Get It Together on the Nintendo Switch. Most WarioWare games have a bunch of little stories relating to each member of the WarioWare crew, but WarioWare Get It Together takes a different approach and has one big story with all of the characters, and it lets them interact with each other. Wario and his squad finish up making their game at WarioWare Incorporated, and suddenly, they all get sucked into the game itself and split up. Immediately, you learn how to play as Wario, Young Cricket, and 18V, each one playing drastically different from the other. It's the perfect way to show off what the game is. After playing the first set of micro games, the gang of 3 established that they need to find their friends and eliminate the virus that's corrupting their game. So they set off on a quest collecting new characters as they go, and honestly, I really like this. I didn't think I would like it as much, but I really like to see characters interact with each other in the way they do. And the story mode is a perfect way to learn the characters and the micro games. With that, let's talk about the characters. One of mine and many others' favorite things about WarioWare is the variety of wonderful characters. Each one has their own personality, and now that they're all playable characters, they all have their own moveset full of references to their past and characteristics. Each character is well thought out and fun to play. But with so many different movesets, things are bound to get unbalanced. You can't make each microgame perfect for each of the many characters WarioWare Get It Together features. With each one playing so different, it's impossible to do so. But that makes some of the microgames more difficult with certain characters. In some aspects, this is good. It makes the game a lot more replayable, while on the other hand, it's significantly to almost impossible with certain characters. But overall, this amount of replayability is always welcome in my book. After the characters, we get the most important part, the micro games. As every WarioWare is, this game is full of micro games, or well, almost every WarioWare. All with unique art styles and challenges, each one being different from the last. It's so much fun just to see what wacky game you'll be playing next. But as I said before, some can be way harder than others. It all depends on who you're playing as. But overall, there's a huge variety of microgames. There's 222 different microgames, and my goodness, that's a lot. Some of them have different themes like food, sports, and my personal favorite, Nintendo references. I'll pretty much buy anything if it has references to classic Nintendo games in it. I love the philosophy of the micro games, which is go in with no idea, die plenty of times, master, then prepare. What the game does is throw you into a micro game, lets you cruise through a couple, then the game speeds up, and then the panic rushes in. I love games where it gets so intense you panic, but the panic isn't so much fun alone. Which brings me to my next point. Almost the entire game is multiplayer. And if you know me, I love that. Multiplayer is always a dream come true. I love multiplayer. Not only is the main story multiplayer, but if you go to a group play, there's some 1 to 4 player minigames too. Some of these are a ton of fun and the rest aren't. Daily Grind is a weird auto-scroller that to this day I still don't understand how to win. Frenemy Frenzy is a weird little battle game. The only fun part is that it's completely unbalanced. Duelist Maximus is a fun little battle game. Then we get to the best ones. Pucker Up is a neat little fun hockey game where you try to score against your friends, then play a micro game while they distract you. But the best of the best is a Wario Ware classic, Balloon Burst. You play a micro game while your friends pump up a balloon, then once you win the micro game you switch players. The goal is not to be the guy that it blows up on. This is by far the best multiplayer experience on here. But other than that, the chaos of Wario Ware is so much fun to experience with a friend. Without the multiplayer, to me this game wouldn't be near as good. Oh, and to keep you returning there's a daily challenge. Well, less daily and more every week. But that's a compilation of mini games that changes every week. Overall, WarioWare Get It Together is a solid game on the Switch that I highly recommend. In my opinion, no, it's not the strongest WarioWare in the series. I mean, it's no smooth moves, but overall, it's a really fun time. But most importantly,